Do you have a favorite playoff memory at all?
Favorite playoff memory? Probably 2016, LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers coming back 3-1. Probably the greatest, to me, probably the greatest playoff series I ever witnessed in my life. So that whole series, to be honest.
You think that series is heavy enough to kind of put Bron in? Like, was that series alone enough to put him in a different stratosphere?
Of course, there's something that's never been done before. So LeBron arguably has probably played in like at least two of the top like 5 NBA finals of all time. Because that series against like the Miami Heat when he was on the Miami with the San Antonio Spurs was legendary too. Like the series that Ray Allen hit the shot and stuff like that, and then Game 7 went bonkers. Like he's been in some crazy ass final series. Like the series that he's won, the NBA Finals has been tough. Like a lot of those, they're very tough.
Yeah, but you know what though? One could argue those moments were actually created in terms of like, yeah, it's dope to overcome a 3-1 deficit, but in order to overcome a 3-1 deficit, you have to be down 3-1 to begin with.
Yeah,
You know, and so no, I mean not taking anything away from it, but it's almost like when we talk about Mike, the fact that Mike never won a Game 7 in the finals. He never came back from 3-1 because he never played in a Game 7. Like I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I think about when it comes to Mike's career is like not playing in a single Game 7, not losing any finals at all in terms of like overall series. That's pretty impressive. 6-0. But for me,
the best
I
team
was,
in the '90s. So,
huh?
so
Yeah.
he was on the best team in the '90s. So,
Hey, at least he got there. There's a lot of superstars who on vacation. Let's see. My favorite playoff memory, I would say, so I have to gotta be Laker related. When the Lakers beat Orlando, then Kobe is another chip. I know, of course, there's been some finals and some wishes that Kobe and Bron meet up at some point in the finals, and it never really happened. But I would say Kobe picking up another chip is definitely probably one of my favorite memories. I remember exactly where I was at too, watching in the living room and shit like that. But playoff basketball is kind of where rankings tend to shift. Playoff basketball is obviously where guys tend to rise in value, but at the same time, get taken off certain lists. The game is a game, but it is what it is. But I mean, I'm trying to think of one that's like, wow, I didn't see it coming. And there's not too many of them like that. I mean, obviously, okay, the Cavs come back from 3-1, sure. But no, I would stick with the Kobe one.
yeah, it's tough because basketball is a sport where normally the best team wins. It's not like any given Sunday like the NFL. Like in the playoffs and the regular season, like you can get beat. Like, and it's kind of like you don't know what's going to happen, especially in the playoffs. In basketball, normally the best team tends to win. And then sometimes we have situations where it's just like craziness happens, like you said, like moments had to be created, like for LeBron and stuff like that. But even some people argue that, like, yo, when he was on the Miami Heat team, even that moment with Ray Allen and stuff in Game 6, like most people would probably say that the Miami Heat were the favorites to win that finals. So, well, the odds makers actually picked the Spurs, but most people was going with the Miami Heat. So you know how that goes, though.
Yeah, that whole favorites thing to me is so hilarious because who makes up these odds? Who makes up these favorites? Was it Vegas?
Same people that just put all this money out on the parlays and sports betting and all that. So yeah, definitely. That's historically they've made the odds of like, that's why people can say like only like probably 2 NBA finals in LeBron James' career, he was supposed to win a championship. Really, maybe 3. Really, he lost 1. That was the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay,
and the others 2 was like the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Miami Heat. The Los Angeles Lakers were favorites, and then the other one was when he. Actually, it was just 2 because I think OKC, the odds makers, I think they favored OKC to win. Actually,
so you mean to tell me that LeBron James who's gone to 10 NBA finals, has been the favorite to win just 2 of them? So you mean to tell me 8 of those 10 LeBron James was considered an upset if he won.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
That's nasty.
According to odds makers, and that factors in like team related. That also factors in who they're playing and stuff like that. That's another thing when we talk about rankings and stuff like that. I look at like who you beat in the NBA Finals as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why Michael Jordan's run was so impressive because, he beat Magic Johnson. Like, he beat Gary Payton. Like, he beat a lot of, like, guys like Charles Barkley. Like, he beat some heavy hitters, some Hall of Famers, even LeBron James as well. It's just kind of like who you play against in the finals, that also elevates your ranking. That's why I talk about Kevin Durant. People always talking about, he joined the Golden State Warriors and stuff like that. Okay, cool. He was the best player on those finals, won finals MVP. But he also beat, like, arguably the GOAT as well. Even though people are going to say that Golden State Warriors were on the better team. Of course they were. But at the end of the day, though, he still beat LeBron James. That's going to help his argument when you look at history when we talk about certain things.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of that argument. Like, it's not. It was, had he beat LeBron with that Thunder team, shit, that's, hey. But there was no reason to lose with that Warrior squad. Like, it was completely obvious. Now, again, head to head.
2017 was different though, because it was some people that were picking the Cleveland Cavaliers to beat the Golden State Warriors. So I'm not one of those people. But it was people that they was coming off a championship, and they had Kyrie Irving, they had Kevin Love, and they had LeBron James. And then that Christmas matchup was one of the greatest Christmas matchup games in NBA Christmas regular season history, and they won that. So it was a lot of people that not necessarily probably picking like heavy favorite, because the Golden State Warriors were heavy favorite to win that series, but it was some people that was feeling like, like, we still got LeBron. Like, and it's credit to your argument. You always say this, like, until the Los Angeles Lakers was officially out, you was still holding on to that, a 37-year-old, like, we still got LeBron. So that's the same thing when we get to the NBA Finals. You never know what's going to happen when you got the best player in the world on your side.
Yeah, at this point, though, I think moving forward after this season, and hell, even the last 2 seasons, I'm no longer going to respect, like, what's been done overall in the past now, because I've seen enough to the point where it's like, all right, what you did in the past is just that, respect to the legacy and all that shit. But if you playing like cans during the regular season, even during the postseason, then damn it, you're probably going to lose. And it really gets that simple.
Who was playing like cans? Because LeBron wasn't.
Well, I was speaking generally speaking,
okay.
not LeBron, but I'm just saying, like, previously I was on like, I can't count a team out because of so-and-so. They have him. Their team may not be playing well, but as long as they have this person, they got a chance. I'm not doing that no damn more. My feelings have been hurt. I've had this belief that certain teams can get it done because they got a certain player, and I've been wrong. But the game is a game. The game is a game. Hey, we've seen some nasty stuff. So before, we can talk about this if you want. I know this is supposed to be an evergreen episode, but I also don't care. So before, we talked about the Nets' departure from the playoffs, but that was before Game 4. So did you have any thoughts of the Brooklyn Nets' final game of the regular season?
No,
not one.
No thoughts.
Because I don't think you want me to let this be a segment of just me. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think it's going to be a healthy idea for anyone. So are you sure?
No, I didn't have no thoughts. It was down 0-3. Like, it was KD showed up, but I mean, like, he should have showed up the other 3 before that. So no, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, like, KD would have played like this the entire series. He didn't play like that the entire series. Kyrie, had one great game. That was game 1. And then, like, he showed up in the last game, but it's just kind of like it's a little bit too late. It's, what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know what to really make of that. They got swept. Like, the brooms were out.
Brooms. Oh, my goodness gracious. So, all right, so let's talk about Jayson Tatum. How about that? There we go. Let's talk about Jayson Tatum. Because I think so many people, it's been easy to just talk about the Nets' struggles and the Nets' disappointment, but let's give flowers, right? So let's talk about Jayson Tatum. Where is Jayson Tatum? Is he top 5 in the league? Is he top 3? Are we?
Well, see, I don't.
No. We can. I'm not waiting anymore.
Right now.
Right now. Yes.
The right now conversation. I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
It's just like I don't know. It's just like that's so hard. I'm really not that type of person to go, because, like I said, at a point in time in the regular season, John Moran was the best point guard in the world.
We're not in the regular season anymore.
I'm just saying, but it's just like I'm not the type of person that's gonna give credit. I got to see things play out into the finish line. Before I start the rankings and stuff like that, or who's this and that entering next year, because like I said, it's been times where LeBron James has lost the NBA Finals in 2011. There was not a damn soul alive that got, after that was over with and got on national TV, on podcasts, and was sitting up talking about Dirk Nowitzki was the best player in the world. You know what I'm saying? Even that was after his run against Kobe and after his run against LeBron and what he did with that Dallas Mavericks team. So that's what I'm saying. I can't sit up and say, it's hard for me to rank guys right now, especially when the playoffs isn't over with. Like you can though, if you want to give Jayson Tatum a rank. But yeah, I'm not right now because I don't want to be emotional. But I will say I've been right about Jayson Tatum his entire career. I will say that.
Yeah, he's definitely showed up.
No, he's the chosen one. When we talk about the young guys, people love to talk about this player and that player, but when we talk about both sides of the basketball, he has no flaws offensively, and then it's like he's improving his passing and he locks up. Like what young player is doing that? Tell me, what young player in the NBA that's doing that? 25 and under. Tell me. That's what I'm saying. He's special. Like he may be the one. And when I talk about the one, he may be the next face of the league one. Like when we talk about whose NBA is it? I know people talk about Giannis a lot, but hey, I'm not worried. I'm really not.
I was gonna say, you know what? There's a part of me that wanted to tell you to pump the brakes, just because you would have to go through Giannis. But you know what?
We're gonna find out.
It ain't just that, but you know what? He just went through Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
so I can't even say, whoa, hang on. Hey, if you sweep a Kevin Durant led team, hey, shit, I can't put anything past you.
He was battle tested at 18, Theus, against LeBron James.
Yeah.
He was battle tested, leading scorer. There's a rookie, battle tested. This brother is here.
And I've been saying this for a while. Jayson Tatum, if he comes out and win the finals this year, he would have had arguably the toughest road probably ever. KD, Giannis, Embiid, and let's say Stephen Curry in the finals. That's
Well, no, he could. I don't. We wait to see how things play out. But I as much as I love Jayson Tatum, I don't see them. I don't know. I
don't put anything past anyone at this point. I mean,
that's true. But I don't put anything past. I don't put anything. Giannis is different. I think people have to realize Giannis is tough. Like we talked about, 30 and 10, pencil him in. 30 and 10, pencil him in. Giannis that's it. Bad game, good game, 30 and 10, you penciling that brother in. So it's just it's only gonna be so much that the Boston Celtics defense that can really do to stop Giannis. Even if them stopping Giannis may be him 30 and 10, penciling him in. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe Chris Middleton's lack of, playing and possibly not playing in that second round is going to probably affect the Milwaukee Bucks, or maybe it won't. But I don't know. Giannis showed me something last year. I can't just sit up and say that the Boston Celtics. I'm probably still going to pick the Milwaukee Bucks to win the series, even without a Chris Middleton, because I got that much respect for Giannis, but I said the same thing about Kevin Durant. Has so much respect for
that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Hey man,
it could be JT time. We'll see.
Right. That's what makes this so interesting. Maybe it's a combination of the Brooklyn Nets not stepping up to the plate, but at the same time the Celtics saying yo, this is our time, because we talked about it for so long. It was all right, guys, we get it. You guys are young, you guys are waiting your turn, but damn it, you're also getting up there. And so maybe this is the year where they say, okay, we not babies no more. We not a bunch of teenagers trying to beat LeBron, right? Yeah. So now it's yo, they're here. If they go out and beat Giannis, Giannis though, yeah.
I got the Miami Heat coming out the East still, so that was my original pick, and I still feel the same way no matter what happens with the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's gonna be a tough series. Whoever Obviously Boston and Milwaukee, and then Philly and Miami, excuse me, and whoever they play. That's gonna be a tough series. It's gonna be a dogfight. Those 4 teams, I think it's a toss up to like say who can win.
The East, in the East at least. Like it's definitely in the East. Definitely in the East.
And the West, I mean,
it's crazy.
Warriors might just walk their way to the finals. I mean, we talk about. I mean, you talk about the injuries, right? That the Suns are dealing with. You talk about the Grizzlies series being an actual battle. The Warriors look. The Warriors could have had a sweep. But give the Nuggets credit for battling out and stuff. And that's nothing too. There's only one team that got swept. What the hell?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Nasty work. But yeah, the Warriors, on the West, it looks like they have a clear run to the finals. But again, unfortunately, like I said, we've learned that there's no guarantee. There's no okay, well, they're definitely gonna. Nope, I don't know shit. Because I don't know shit. Because anything that I guess we all thought clip. So, but it's interesting though. It's interesting. A lot of narratives, as we said, a lot of narratives are being driven. A lot of agendas are unfortunately getting pushed. The game is a game. Yeah,
JT is here. SCL stand up. I mean, I'm happy, even though I still need.
Be careful, man.
I still need him to the Boston Celtics to lose in the second round.
Exactly.
I need JT. I need JT long away from that city of Boston. I need him in LA. I need him to feel his real destiny. So go Bucks. Go Bucks.
Man said, I want you to win, but take it easy.
Yeah, go Bucks.
Don't get too crazy. Yeah, we got agendas to push.
Yeah,
but
I need him
yeah, but we'll see though. It's a long series, long playoffs and things like that. But I think what's cool too though is as the playoffs continue, like we said early in the season, this is going to be the one where certain players will be elevated, and it'll be a clear cut favorite on who the best player is, 25 and under. I think that group has been penciled in, and there's been discussion and things like that. But now it's okay, there is a king to all, or there is an individual, whoever it is. We still got time to wait, but it's looking more and more like it might be JT. It's looking more and more like it might be Jayson Tatum. So
it ain't no look. It's been JT for a while now. I've been saying for 2 years he's a borderline top 10 player in the NBA. People were calling me crazy. It's not. It's that's what I'm saying. You factor in the performance on the court, then you factor in the skill set and talent aspect. It all aligns to JT, especially when we talk about Will roundedness. People were talking about early on, he's just a scorer. He's just a scorer. No. He's showing this playoffs at least his game is well rounded, and even towards the end of the season, people are talking about his passing ability has improved tremendously since his rookie season to right now. So that's the last step in his game, his passing ability. If he continues to improve that, then his game's gonna be fully complete because he has everything else: 3-level score, isolation, shot creation, step backs, shooting threes, getting busy in the post. He has turnaround fadeaway. This brother has everything. Getting to the cup, finishing. He really is lethal on the offensive side. And then we talk handle as well. But then we talk about the defensive side, guarding 1 through 4. It's none of those young guys really doing that. Ja ain't guarding. Luka's has improved on the defensive side of the court in the post, but he ain't guarding. Trey, we know Trey, that's my boy, but he ain't guarding. Who else? Devin Booker's improved defensively and stuff like that, where he's more engaged now. So he's showing that potential on that side. But after that, it's just kind of and that's just potential. And he also was I know you like analytics for his shooting guard position. D Book was the best at that, for his defensive net rating for analytics for a shooting guard position. But other than that,
statistics, ain't that something?
Other than that, hey, Who doing what JT doing?
Now this man likes analytics. Ain't that about a...
No, I said that earlier, a long podcast ago too. I was using that for example.
Something.
I was just using for example against Nikola Jokic when we were talking about. That's why I said that. Don't get it twisted.
Ain't that
Don't
something?
Don't get it twisted.
It's amazing when analytics matter. Oh
no, I don't. The defensive net rating doesn't matter to me, or especially defensive analytics does not matter to me at all. Really, I think
just defensive. Who can score? Raise your hand if you can score, guys. All right, you can play.
Yeah, I don't really get off on that because, like I said, that's a very flawed stat. Like I said, when Giannis won Defensive Player of the Year award, they said that the Bucks were better when he was off the court when Brook Lopez was on the court. You know what I'm saying? So they were a better defensive team when Brook Lopez was on the court and Giannis was off the court. So basically, they were a better defensive team when Brook Lopez was anchoring the defense over Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Giannis won the Defensive Player of the Year award. So I was just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't. That shit is flawed. Like it's flawed to a T. It's
I'm glad you mentioned Giannis's name because that brings me to a cap or no cap question that I have for you. And I low-key feel like I've asked this before, but I don't think so. Cap or no cap, Giannis will finish his career with more rings than Kevin Durant.
Ooh, wow. I think you did ask me that.
Did I?
I think so. We had a couple.
Okay, fine. I'll switch it up. I got a different one then. Cap or no cap, Jayson Tatum will finish his career with more rings than Kevin Durant.
I don't know, man. That's tough. I mean, because Jayson Tatum ain't never been to a finals, so as a
but he also got the time advantage.
He got the time advantage.
Just to get two, or as of right now, not to say KD's going to retire with two, but
I mean, I guess since Jayson Tatum is younger, I would probably say no cap, because he has that advantage. Jayson Tatum's 24 years old. KD 33, gonna be 34 next year. So I'm gonna say just off the longevity or the strength that like Jayson Tatum is younger, and also Jayson Tatum is paired next to Jaylen Brown, and they make the best wing tandem in the NBA right now. If you keep that duo together, so it's just kind of like, hey, and credit to Brad Stevens for knowing that he wasn't the right voice for these guys. I know we talk a lot about nepotism and stuff like that, how he, basically got promoted for doing a bad job, but like. It's also, we also got to give him credit for like, hiring who he hired and knowing that, I can't lead this team where they need to go. They need a new voice. So I'm going to go and, make the decisions in the front office and stuff like that and still have an impact that way instead of being on the court. So we got to give some credit, because I was hard on Brad Stevens and about that whole shit about like, who the hell does a terrible job to get promoted? like that shit's crazy to me, but still give credit when credit is due. But no cap.
There's been a lot of legendary moves in the NBA lately, man. You got Brad Stevens getting a promotion for doing a bad job. Love to see it. You got Ben Simmons, vibing but still collecting paychecks. I'll just stop there because I don't want anyone to get in their feelings. But just know there's been a lot of finessing going on around the league, and I love to see it. I love to see it as an individual perspective, basketball wise, whatever. But yeah, Jayson Tatum getting, the funny thing is, KD could still get 2 in the next 2 years. KD could still win that race and be up 4-0. And by then, right, Jayson Tatum will have lost it. But the thing is, too, with the way these players have been going, Jayson Tatum can also tie that within 2 years.
Never know.
So you really don't know. I would say, cap, no cap, Jayson Tatum will finish his career with more rings than Kevin Durant. Damn, that is tough.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say cap. I'm gonna say cap.
So
how
many rings is Kevin Durant retiring with, in your opinion? If you're saying cap,
I would say.
If you're saying just 2, you saying like he may never win again. Is that what you're saying?
No. I would say maybe KD gets 1 more, right, and then Jayson gets 2, because Jayson, like, he's going to be in a league where there's going to be more parity, right? There's probably going to be like 6 or 7 guys who you might feel like have a claim, right, to the throne, right? Especially when you talk about bringing back a healthy Zion, and you feel me. But KD, because he already has 2, throughout the majority of his career, there's only been really him, LeBron, and maybe Steph, if you want to argue that, at the top. And
Yeah.
And honestly, I would just say him and LeBron, because I don't think anyone would have argued that Steph was ever better than LeBron James. And that's okay. We talking about, LeBron here. But just the idea that, like, there really was two gentlemen.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There should have. Are you saying there should or should not have been?
I don't think from a game standpoint.
To me, there's never been an argument who the hell the best player was over the last decade. But to some people,
no,
of course, made.
Of course. But I was talking about here. This is Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry, because a lot of shit has been going on. We're gonna get on this topic and then we can get out of here. Who do you feel has had the better career? Who's been the better player?
Let's get into it.
Because a lot of this argument has been brought up because of what's happened with Kevin Durant losing in the first round, getting swept. And I'm like, pump the brakes. People love to talk about like, Kevin Durant went and joined Stephen Curry and had to learn how to become a champion. I say that is 100% valid. I also would say LeBron James joined Dwayne Wade and Miami Heat coacher and had to learn how to become a champion. So it's just kind of like, I don't think anybody was saying that Dwayne Wade was better than LeBron James. So I don't understand
That's not the same.
No. I think it is the same, because like just because you join a team and you a championship caliber team and you go out and win championships, but it's just like if you really break it down, like I don't think anybody was really saying that before that happened that Stephen Curry was a better basketball player than Kevin Durant. Until like he went to the Golden State Warriors and he won because of stuff and his gravity and stuff like that. I don't know. Was that really a thing?
Yeah, I mean, there was some debate. Yeah, it wasn't clear-cut favor, especially too considering that, Stephen was coming off a championship. No, that Steph is still a two-time MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, D-Wade wasn't a two-time MVP. D-Wade, I mean, he did have the chip before LeBron came, but the MVP stat, like Steph had the chip and the MVPs. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying that one answer is obvious. I mean, again, we talk about Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry. Like a case can be made for both of them. But I'm gonna say this, right? And that's a very good question, because a lot of people will talk about that now. But I'm gonna tell you what, this season alone will hold a lot of weight to that conversation. And as of right now, and it ain't even just about recency bias, right? Because I'm not forgetting what Kevin Durant has done. I'm just saying, and again, we've had this conversation before, but this was the year to kill the noise of being able to do it solo and on your own. Steph, even though he's had a great team, he still won one where he was the clear-cut best player, number one option.
Yeah, number one option that didn't win the Finals MVP. And I think he should have won the Finals MVP. But there's people that's going to point to like, they gave it to, how great of that Finals was he if he didn't win the Finals MVP and he didn't get one single vote, which was crazy in my opinion, because I thought like, he should have won the Finals MVP, but they gave it to a guy that was defending LeBron James. So it's just what I'm saying. We talk about like that Finals that Stephen Curry won, but it's a lot of things that people talk about in that Finals is like, it's very iffy. You know what I'm saying? When people talk about like, he led them to the Finals as a clear-cut best player. Yes, that is true, but like he wasn't really rewarded that ending like a LeBron James has got, a Kobe Bryant has got, or Kevin Durant has got when he was on the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we had to bring that into perspective as well.
Very true. So very, very true. So at some point we realized like when we're arguing the best of the best with these players, it turns out to be apples and oranges, right? Like whatever you say great about Kevin Durant, there's something that someone else can say about Stephen Curry. But then when we start talking about worst versus worst, with this, what we just saw from Kevin, what the worst was from Stephen, it ain't even close, right? Whatever performance, whether it be single game, overall series, it ain't even close.
But you talk about this
like that. That's fine. That's a part of it.
But you also talk about like Stephen Curry. Kevin Durant had a chance to quiet the noise. I can slip up and say the same thing about Stephen Curry in 2009, who had a chance to quiet the noise too, before Kevin Durant left. Yeah, before Kevin Durant left.
Wait, I react like that. 19, you said 19. Okay,
no, 2019 in the NBA Finals.
You said 9. I'm like, damn, you talking about baby stuff?
No, 2019 when they went against the Toronto Raptors. He had a chance to quiet the noise too, and he sure didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, we need Kevin Durant. And then Klay Thompson got hurt and stuff like that. And people want to act like, I understand Klay Thompson got hurt. But I seen like when the moment is there, the moment is there. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to elevate your game and take over. So it's just like That's the same thing.
That's low key slightly different because that's an adjustment. Obviously, like some players can really flip the switch and turn it on. It's still Stephen Curry. You feel me? But at the same time, if you've been playing with teammates and certain guys throughout the entire season, and then all of a sudden you got a game and a half or whatever to really just I'm gonna give this team 50. That's not the same as Kevin Durant having the team that he's been playing with all 82 games, knowing what he's about to enter a 7-game series with, and still not producing. Now, again, there ain't no excuse, right? Like, I'm going to hold Stephen to the same standard. Don't get me wrong. But there are differences in those stories. Like, it wasn't like Steph, just walked into, the entire playoffs with that lineup and then he just shit the bed. It's that takes a mindset shift.
Kevin Durant played like, 10 minutes and then got hurt? Like,
yeah, that's right. As well as the Klay Thompson injury.
Yeah, but it was other games before that, wasn't it? Wasn't it other games before that series? They were down for a reason, right?
Yeah. KD came back. KD came back. He got injured.
They was praying Kevin Durant, we need you. That's what was going on. Like we were down.
Nasty work.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I could look at that situation as well. Now this year, people are going to point out, like you said, like Stephen Curry has a chance to quiet a lot of noise. And people are going to use, if he does quiet a lot of noise, we're going to come back and it's going to be like, let's really have a conversation. But I would say this, quiet a noise against who? Because I always pointed this out. Who you play in the finals matter to me. If he's quieting a noise against Giannis and a healthy Chris Middleton, that's something different. If he's quieting a noise against, let's say, the Miami Heat, I don't know if that's going to be, I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, he quieted. No. I'm not going to say that. Even if he quieted a noise against Jayson Tatum and the Boston Celtics, because I look at those teams like, Jayson Tatum's a young superstar. I don't consider Jimmy Butler a superstar. I consider him a star player. I need you quiet a noise against a real superstar. Quiet a noise against arguably the best player in the world in Giannis or a top 3 player in the world. That's what I like to see because it's just like, how you really quiet a noise if you really ain't playing nobody? Okay, that's how I look at it.
My thing is, first things first, you play who's in front of you. Stephen Curry cannot control who he plays, especially when it comes to playoffs. That's number one. But number two, you can't sit here and say that you got a team you're predicting that they can go to the finals. And we just said that literally all 4 of those teams in the Eastern Conference can win, right? Yeah. And then in the same breath say, well, I wouldn't be too impressed or the noise wouldn't be killed if Steph Curry goes out and beat the 2 teams I just said could win the whole thing.
I'm just saying, bro. It's a little different. The team basketball is important, but it does feel a little. Your elevation of
it would hit harder if he beat Giannis. It would hit harder. It would hit harder, but it would still hit. Period. Yeah, if he went out and won Finals MVP,
it would hit, but it ain't gonna hit the same like some people that's gonna say. It ain't gonna hit the same to me. It ain't gonna hit the same. I'm gonna be sitting up and saying like, "Yo, Stephen Curry is automatically better than Kevin Durant." If he don't beat it like a superstar, that shit ain't gonna hit the same to me. It would have hit real if he beat Kawhi Leonard in 2019. It'll hit real hard if he beat Giannis Antetokounmpo this year. But it ain't gonna. If he beat Jimmy Butler, all right, cool. Like I understand, like Miami Heat, great team and stuff like that. But it ain't gonna feel the same. It ain't gonna. That's just me.
But now you're looking at it from a head-to-head kind of thing. Now, of course, obviously Miami. This isn't
I'm looking
a normal or typical like 1 seed, right? Like Miami, and when you think about historically, 1 seeds, they are more so built off the team aspect, which is okay, right? That's okay. But I mean, I think it all comes down to you play who's in front of you, and also too a lot of this comes into play emotion. No, for real though. I mean, look, I can't sit here and say like, yo, all right, you did like we don't say that about Giannis. Giannis beat the damn Suns, and as great as they are, right? Historically speaking, again, when we look at overall superstar and stardoms that have played in the NBA Finals,
who don't say that? Because I talk about that run all the time. Like, who you talking? I talk about that run all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, it was cool.
This guy,
it was cool. Yeah, it was cool.
Little 50 burger in the NBA Finals and winning 4 straight NBA Finals. That's crazy.
He should have. And what I'll tell you, he should have won. And if Steph Curry goes out and he played if he played against the Boston Celtics and he's playing against the Miami Heat, I'm gonna sit up and say, good job, Steph. You did your job.
You know what though? I don't know about the Boston Celtics one. And the only reason why I say that is because especially Miami too. Everybody. Because the way I see it is Miami and Boston, whether they have the stardom matchup or star power in comparison to Stephen Curry, you could debate. But at the same time, they got some dogs that could defend Steph. Or at least slow him down. Marcus Smart literally just won Defensive Player of the Year. So if he goes out and win, Finals MVP against a Defensive Player of the Year,
you know how it goes.
I mean, hey, that says something.
You know
that says something.
You know how it goes. Like it's gonna be like if it's against a head honcho in the league, it's gonna be very more impressive compared to a team that's not.
Of course.
Head honchos. You know that.
Of course.
And the reason why I said that because like it's when you're a superstar of that caliber, when we talk about like a top 2, top 3 person of this decade, player of this decade, it's gonna hit worse if he lose. You get what I'm saying?
Well.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get hit worse if he lose. So if he lose to the Miami Heat, it ain't gonna be like people gonna be like, damn, Steph. If he lose against the Boston Celtics, I know you know how I feel about Jayson Tatum. People gonna be like, damn, Steph. But if he lose against like Giannis, it ain't gonna be like, damn, Steph, for real. It's gonna be like, all right, it was, battle the gladiators.
You wonder why it won't be a damn Steph, in my opinion, is because at that point, if we're having a conversation about Stephen Curry losing to the Celtics, to my previous point, that would have mean that he lost to a team that just beat Kevin Durant, that just beat Giannis, that
That's
just
true.
beat Embiid. So maybe there's something like, okay, well, shit.
Incredible
maybe
run.
right at that point,
yeah.
right now the Suns of last year, right? And now if Giannis had lost to the Bucks, or if Giannis, had lost to the Suns, and the Suns had just beat pretty much nobody considering the injuries, then it's like, oh shit, you should have won this. But at that point, if everyone again remains healthy, and Stephen Curry beats or loses to a team that just beat a bunch of other superstars, I'm not about to look at you sideways.
Yeah, but it's gonna. We could be for the first time in a while, we could be in a great situation where we may have a Dallas Mavericks team situation, like a great team is gonna win, and even though they have a star player, but like Jayson Tatum's a star player, but like we know when you talk about superstars, what you think of superstars, you think of the cream of the crop, the 5, like the top 5 players in the world, like or top 3 guys at the table. So. It's gonna be. We may see it, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But I need a gladiator versus gladiator. That's why I always talk about the Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Like I talk about like, but even though this situation happened, like he still beat LeBron. Like that says more. He wasn't beating like Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? He beat LeBron. Like that says something. Regardless how people want to flip it or not, it says something. Like LeBron beat Tim Duncan. Like those. You being legends like that says something.
I would say that's slightly different though because of the positions, right? Like Steph ain't guarding Giannis, and so Kevin Durant was guarding LeBron. So it's like, okay, even though I don't agree with that whole head-to-head with KD and LeBron, because let's be real, one guy had the way better team. The idea was they guard each other. You saw them play one-on-one. Cool. That's not about to happen with Steph and Giannis. So I think that's hell. That's not going to happen with Steph, Jayson Tatum, or literally any other superstar. So I think that does says a lot as well. It's like okay, but like I said, but also too, you got to remember of when they will be playing. If we talk about Stephen Curry losing to Giannis or Jayson Tatum, that would mean right. Yeah. Exactly. We're talking about the damn finals. Yeah. So hey, at least getting there. Special enough. Now, again, I hold him to a higher standard. I want him to win, and then we would have that dialogue. But damn it, at least he would have gotten there. At least he would have had 12 wins in the playoffs to reach that point.
We got to wait till after the second round happens, and then we're going to start talking about that's when we're going to start talking about real expectations. Because if I look in the second round, and once the second round is gone, and I sit up and say, like, we see that, these 4 teams remaining, just like I told you last year, but though it was the Clippers, it was the Suns, it was the Atlanta Hawks, it was the Bucks. What did I say? I said, Giannis should win the NBA Finals. There's no excuse why he shouldn't win the NBA Finals. So we could see that the same thing if it comes to that with Stephen Curry and depending on who he faces. But if it's the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors are facing the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to sit here on no pump face and sit up and say, and look at the landscape of what's going on and say, Stephen Curry should win the NBA Finals. And if he doesn't, it's going to be like, we're going to have a conversation. The same feeling I felt about Giannis, it's going to be the same energy, especially if I'm looking at it and it's just like it's no clear superstars left. And people
a conversation about what though? What would, and we don't have to tap into it too much, but a conversation about what though? Because I can tell you what, like, what mine would be about. Like if so and so lost in finals, then we could say, all right, he's not the best player in the world. But are you saying a conversation about like legacy or just active or what?
It's going to be not necessarily a conversation about legacy because I don't think Stephen Curry needs to do anything to really, I mean, he can do something to help his legacy. I don't think he's going to do anything to really hurt his legacy. But a conversation about like, overall impact. You know what I'm saying? A conversation about like, can you get it done like when it matters the most, like other guys? Can you seize the opportunity? Like that's what I'm gonna look at when we talk about like, it's clear, like go get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Because we hold certain players to a higher standard all the time historically when we talk about certain guys. If people are talking about like LeBron James in 2018, like what is LeBron? He better get to the finals. And we, what I'm saying? It was like, so it's the same thing with Steph. Like, you better go out and win the finals if certain situations come out of hand. So we'll see.
I'm gonna say this though, and we can end on this. We can slide on this. I don't ever again want to hear any current superstar ever mentioned in the same breath as LeBron James. Ever again. Not current, not modern, not. Nope. I'm not even going to entertain. And not to say that I've heard it often, but nope. When I hear names, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, I don't want to hear anyone else. I like, and I'm not even
following you here.
No. Let me.
Top three players all time. Following you here.
See, that's what I said. Let me finish. I didn't say top three or anything like that. I'm just saying. I'm keeping it very general. I'm keeping it very open with that statement. So if I'm talking about top scorers of all time, I don't want to hear no names other than those three. I don't. When I'm talking about best offensive talent player, I don't want to hear no other name other than those three. Because again, to my point, and I say this all the time, if we are ranking, let's rank 1 through 10, 1 through 50, 1 through 75. I don't give a shit. But if we are saying just one person, if we get to choose one, I don't want to hear nobody else but those three.
Outside those three, it's been that way with me.
That right, cool.
I'm glad,
right, and it's been that way with you,
yeah.
right? I mean, I wanted to see a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, I think we all owe Kevin that much. It's like, okay, to his point, I know who the hell I am and shit like that. But now I'm good. I'm good. And don't take anything away from anybody. I promise you it.
But that's no shade to anybody though.
Right, it's not. It's like listen to the three names I just said.
Yeah, it's no shade to anybody.
You feel me?
It's no shade to anybody. But I tell people that all the time, like it's definitely levels. But I also tell people that like, people get so caught up in the aesthetics of something and they start valuing like certain things because it may look more pretty compared to somebody else getting busy. And I always say this because like people love to talk about like pure hoopers, and I'm a guy that loves to talk about skill set and talent. Like, so I can really say this, but it's like other things that come into hand. We just talk about skill set. Skill set is not all about handling shooting. You know what I'm saying? Skill set can be about passing. Skill set can be about footwork. Skill set can be about shot creating, difficult shot making, like Kobe being Bryant. So when people have these conversations about like who's the greatest scorer of all time, and it's automatically this person, or who's the greatest player of all time, and it's automatically this person, who's the best player in the league, because like skill set is so advanced, but it's just kind of like if that skill set doesn't translate to production, how advanced are you? And that's what people need to start realizing when we start talking about like all these guys like that are pure scorers and pure hoopers, and game is so pretty, game is so beautiful. Like, and there's a lot of players in this league today of the modern game, that's the case. But if all that, fantastic artwork doesn't translate to production or resume building or overall team success, it really don't mean as much as people like to say. And credit to you, Theus, you always been on that board because you talk about like, all that shit is cool, but if it don't translate to production and rings and championships, like what does it mean? And you've been on that for a while now, and I've been on it, but it's just like I'm starting to see like I got to come around a little bit more to it because like, I value talent and skill set all the time, especially because I played basketball, since I was 5 years old, so I understand it. But at the same time, if a guy can do less, and production and resume is better than you, and he's still skilled, then what's really the argument?
Yeah. And especially too when it comes to the playoffs. Like I've stood on that. That's where you get boosted up the most. And at the same time, when you play like, not to your, the way you should be, that's where you get dropped. And there you go. That's the perfect word. And that's what happens. Like I'm with that on both sides. You play well, right? You play better than a lot of people expect. Oh, cool. I'm a put you a little bit higher on the list. You don't, we're going to address that. And it really is that simple. All that stuff that happens in the regular season, that's cool. That's cute. Don't know why I charged it during the damn regular season. Clearly. You know what I'm saying? But so what happens in the postseason, that's where you get judged. Don't nobody play for no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. The regular season is meant for standings and stuff like that. But at the same time, we playing to win rings. You feel me? Especially with the names that we're talking about here. Rings. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because I don't.
You're right. No. It's like I said, you've been on it. Like I said, I give credit. You know me. I'm gonna give credit when credit is due. Always. Even when I'm wrong about something, or even when I had to come around to something. But you've been on it. Like, yo, because I love talent and skill set. Like I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those eye test people all the time. Production, stats and regular season stuff. But when it comes to the playoffs, if the beauty of your artwork is not matching the production, like, does it really matter? And if your beauty of your artwork is matching the production, then yeah, that makes you even more phenomenal and special.
And also too, like, if the opportunity is there and you didn't take advantage of it, right? So we see a lot of guys, just to name a few, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker, Trae Young, who in previous history, they may not have had a stronger team. So it's like, okay, they didn't really have an opportunity to really like show the world who the hell they were. Yeah, but when you have the opportunity, right, and you don't produce, now question marks can be raised. I'll defend someone who's throwing up empty stats. I will, because can't nobody win when you don't have talent around you. It is what it is. You play the chips. You play the hands that you're dealt. But if you've been given some good teammates, if you're about to enter a series where we feel that you can win and then you don't, come on now. We can sit here and blame the coaching staff all we want. We can sit here and say, we didn't have a great regular season. Bullshit. Come playoff time, that shit is clipped. Either get it done or understand that you about to get judged. There ain't no two sides. Like, there's only one side of it. Like, some people got it, and but it sucks. This is why we live to see another day when it comes to this hoop talk. But yeah, housekeeping items. Of course, y'all, you already know. You feel me? 5-star rating, Apple Podcasts. Show love on Spotify. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Turn your notifications on. All right, and just like that, we gone. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Theus McBee. Make sure you go follow No Pump Fakes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.